At 4:16 local time, the SPY-1D radar refreshes. The screen is clean at first. Flat water, no weather, nothing unusual. Then one return begins to harden on bearing 247, just over 12 nautical miles out. Speed constant. Heading locked in. No AIS, no flag, no signal. Nothing to identify it. Inside Combat Information Center, nobody says a word right away. The contact is not doing anything dramatic. That is exactly what makes it feel wrong. Surface contact tracks Sierra 31. The radar operator says at last, calm and even. Up on the bridge, the officer of the deck leans forward and raises binoculars. There is still nothing visible, only open water and the dim shimmer before sunrise. But the plot is already telling a different story. The bearing is not drifting. The range is closing in a straight line. Condition 3, the captain says quietly. He does not need to say it twice. The order moves through the ship at once. Hatches are dogged. Stations are manned. Steel footsteps echo through the passageways. Measured, practiced, automatic. Not panic. Just repetition doing its work. The contact keeps coming. At 10 nautical miles, the profile still does not add up. Too heavy for a fishing boat. Too slow for a fast runner. Its wake is long, straight, and deliberate. No weaving, no hesitation, no shift in speed. Whoever is steering is not acting surprised. Recommend bridge-to-bridge hail, the officer of the deck says. Do it! The radio clicks alive. Unidentified vessel. This is a United States Navy warship operating in international waters. State your intentions. Only static answers. The range slips below 9 miles. In CIC, analysts begin pulling past tracks, comparing hull shapes, engine patterns, and usual routes. The contact lines up with a corridor. Sailors sometimes call the funnel, a stretch of water favored by trafficking crews because, on paper, it looks too ordinary to matter. The unknown vessel stays on course. Second hail, the captain orders. Spanish. The message goes out again, firm and professional. Still nothing. No change in speed, no change in heading. Now the bridge team can finally see it. A dark, low silhouette on the horizon, growing by the minute. No running lights, no movement on deck. Just a hull pushing through calm water as if it belongs there. The captain studies the plot, then the horizon, then the plot again. He never reaches for the helm. He never raises his voice. Log all emissions. Record everything. The electronic warfare suite begins collecting signals. Weak, low-power sweeps. Nothing openly hostile, but enough to show the other vessel is not blind. It is watching too, and doing so on purpose. At 6 nautical miles, the closest point of approach tightens. If neither ship turns, they will pass far inside a safe margin. Too close to dismiss, too precise to call random. Any response? The captain asks. Negative, Captain. The forward gun mount shifts a few degrees. Not enough to threaten, just enough to be noticed through optics. A quiet mechanical signal. We are here and we see you. The contact keeps coming. This is the kind of moment crews train for and hope never goes further. The narrow space between uncertainty and decision. The Navy calls it restraint. People on the outside sometimes mistake that for hesitation. Nobody on the bridge makes that mistake. The destroyer holds course, 20 knots, steady. At 4 nautical miles, the approaching vessel's bow wave sharpens. Its hull looks worn, patched, tired, but not random. Not lost, not harmless, not accidental. CPA under 2 miles, CIC reports. Time to CPA, 8 minutes. 8 minutes can feel endless in combat, and like nothing at all when steel is closing on steel. The captain folds his arms. We hail once more, then we prepare options. No threats, no ultimatums, just presence. The radio opens for a 3rd time. The wording is shorter now, firmer than before. The answer does not change. Nothing. Out on the water, the unknown vessel never slows, never turns. It holds the line as if the destroyer ahead of it either does not exist or is expected to move first. No one on the bridge looks away from the horizon, because if the course remains unchanged much longer, collision stops being an idea and becomes a countdown. At 4:31 local time, the contact finally breaks the silence. Not with words, but with action. Its speed drops suddenly. The wake shortens, the bow settles. On the radar screen, the closing line flattens, then stops advancing. She's slowing, CIC says, then now dead in the water. Nobody relaxes. Trafficking crews do not stop unless they have run out of options, or they are trying to buy time. Launch the RHIB, the captain orders. Law enforcement detachment takes point. The destroyer does not crowd the contact. It does not press in. It holds position, large, steady, watchful, while the smaller boat moves in to handle the part a warship is not meant to do alone. The rigid hull inflatable hits the water cleanly. Engines low, no spray, no shouting. The boarding team moves with the kind of efficiency built by repetition. Helmets tight, weapons slung, not aimed, cameras running. From a distance, the target looks almost ordinary. About 30 meters of worn steel, faded paint, no visible armament, no flag, no name across the stern. That absence matters. As the RHIB closes in, 3 figures appear on deck. They do not wave, they do not reach for radios. They simply stand there, spaced apart, hands visible, watching the team approach. Too still. U.S. Coast Guard, prepare to be boarded, the team leader calls. No answer, no resistance. The ladder goes up. Boots hit steel. The first sweep is quick and methodical. Bridge secure. Engine room checked. No weapons, no attempt to interfere. The crew follows every instruction. Faces blank, movements slow, almost practiced. Then the boarding officer signals for the hold. The hatch opens and the air changes. Not fish, not fuel. Something sharper, chemical, clean, tightly sealed. Under a canvas cover sits a neat grid of rectangular bundles, stacked with care. Sharp edges, uniform shapes, wrapped in layers of plastic and tape. No markings, no labels, nothing meant for inspection, just consistency. The officer kneels and presses a gloved thumb into one package. It barely gives. Another tool comes out, a careful cut. Inside are dense, off-white bricks, tightly compressed. No one says the word out loud yet. Back on the destroyer, CIC receives the update. The bridge grows even quieter than before. Estimate quantity, the captain says. Stand by. The count comes in piece by piece, 19 bundles, roughly 45 pounds each, close to 900 pounds total. Estimated street value above $13 million. The captain gives a single nod. Secure the evidence, detain the crew. The suspects do not protest when they are cuffed. No arguments, no questions. If anything, they look relieved, like men who have reached the end of a plan they never fully controlled. That part does not sit right. Crews moving illegal cargo usually run. They dump the load, they bargain, they improvise. They do not sit calmly on a dead vessel in open water unless they think the real danger is somewhere else. The boarding team clears the rest of the ship. No hidden compartments, no scuttling charges, no signs of an attempt to destroy the cargo. Everything is intact, too intact. RHIB returning, the team leader reports. Cargo secured, 3 detainees. As the small boat pulls away, the destroyer's radar operator calls out again. Captain, recommend attention. New surface contact. Bearing 261, long range, speed increasing. Heads turn back to the scope. A fresh symbol appears, faint at first, then building speed. Its course angles toward the scene, then another. 2 contacts now, different bearings, same destination. The first vessel, the one carrying the contraband, drifts helplessly between them and the destroyer. A floating liability nobody wants to claim. Are they connected? The officer of the deck asks. Unknown, CIC says, but they're converging. The captain watches the returning RHIB lift over a small wave, sees the boarding team intact, the detainees low in the boat. Get them aboard, he says. Then we reassess. The deck crew prepares to recover the RHIB. Lines ready, hands steady, no one rushes. Out on the horizon, the 2 new contacts keep closing, wakes growing longer, intention still unreadable. The seized vessel drifts in the middle of it all. And for the first time since the original radar hit appeared, the event feels less like an interception and more like a setup. Because the boarding should have ended the story. Instead, it changed the story. At 4:54 local time, the first new contact sharpens fully on radar. No longer faint, solid track, speed rising past 18 knots, course tightening with clear purpose. The second contact appears 30 seconds later, offset in bearing but matching the acceleration. 2 vessels, 2 vectors, 1 convergence point. Surface contacts designated Sierra 4 and Sierra 5, CIC reports, both increasing speed. The RHIB is recovered in one smooth motion. Lines fly, hooks bite. The detainees are taken below without ceremony. Nobody on the bridge looks back at the seized ship drifting off the starboard quarter. Their focus is already somewhere else. The radar picture says enough before the eye can. One inbound contact adjusts course 5 degrees to port. Small, precise, deliberate. Not shadowing, not matching course. Intercepting. CPA now under 3 nautical miles, CIC says. Time to CPA, 9 minutes. 9 minutes is enough time to make decisions people remember for decades. The captain steps closer to the chart table. Any AIS? Negative, both dark. The destroyer holds speed, 20 knots, no turn. Through binoculars, the lead vessel's wake becomes visible. White, straight, disciplined, no fishing gear. No wandering helm. Whoever is steering knows exactly what they are doing. Bridge to bridge hail, the officer of the deck says. The The radio opens. Unidentified vessels approaching United States Navy warship, you are closing at unsafe distance. State your intentions. This time the response comes immediately, but not as a voice. One of the contacts accelerates again, 22 knots, then 24. That's intentional, CIC says. Acceleration logged. The captain nods once. Record it. The second vessel hangs wider, shaping a loose pincer around the drifting cargo ship and squeezing the space available to the destroyer. This is no accident now. The forward gun mount shifts again, a little farther this time. Still not crewed, still not active, but unmistakable against the first light of dawn. Helm, steady as she goes, the captain says. The destroyer does not give up water. At 4 nautical miles, the lead contact trims course again, narrowing the projected pass to less than a mile. Too close. Close enough that any late correction would mean nothing. CPA trending 0.7 nautical miles, CIC says. Closing fast. Nobody shouts. No alarms erupt. The tension lives in the numbers. Any emissions? The captain asks. Low-power surface search, EW replies. They're painting us, Captain. Not fire control. Not yet. That difference matters. Every pulse, every sweep, every whisper of signal is logged. The destroyer does not jam, does not interfere. It lets the other side keep talking. At 3 nautical miles, the contact finally hails. U.S. warship, a measured, accented voice says over the radio. You are interfering with lawful maritime activity. Alter course. The bridge absorbs it without reaction. The captain answers at once, voice level and unhurried. This is a United States Navy warship conducting lawful transit in international waters. Your maneuvering is unsafe. Alter course immediately. Silence. The contact does not turn. It keeps its speed. Keeps its line. Steel committed to steel. Time to CPA, 6 minutes, CIC says. The captain looks from the horizon back to the plot. He does not ask for permission. He does not hesitate. Prepare the helicopter. On the flight deck, the Seahawk crew moves fast without looking rushed. Rotors unfold. Systems come alive. The aircraft is a tool, not a threat, but everyone on board understands what it means. Presence, documentation, options. The contact keeps coming. At 2 nautical miles, the bridge team can make out real details now. Bridge windows, railings, figures on deck. No weapons visible, no signal flags, just speed and intent. This is your last warning, the captain transmits. Alter course now. The seconds pass. Then finally something changes. The wake shortens. Not much, just enough. Speed drops by 2 knots, then 2 more. The helm wavers, a slight move to starboard. Not withdrawal, not yet, but no longer a collision line. CPA widening now 1.4 nautical miles, CIC reports. The second contact stays wide, its part apparently complete. The destroyer never turns. The captain watches until the gap opens clearly, until steel is no longer pointed at steel in a way that cannot be taken back. Only then does he speak again. Keep recording. We're not done yet. Because turning away avoided the collision. It did not erase the intent behind it. At 5:11 local time, the Seahawk lifts off. No announcement, no drama, just the heavy thump of rotors cutting into the morning air as the helicopter slides off the deck and drops low over the water, about 50 feet up. Its nose points toward the vessel that had just moments earlier been driving straight at the destroyer. This is not escalation, this is control. From the cockpit, the pilots see everything the bridge already suspected. Hull shape, deck layout, crew positions. From the sensor station, the view becomes sharper still. Infrared locks on. Long-range optics zoom tight. Faces come into focus. Movement slows into something almost clinical. Every frame is time-stamped. Every second becomes evidence. The helicopter approaches from the vessel's port quarter, careful and professional. No overflight, no reckless pass. Just unmistakable presence. Close enough to matter, far enough to stay controlled. On the destroyer's bridge, the captain watches the live feed in silence. The helicopter crew opens a channel. Unidentified vessel, this is a United States Navy helicopter operating in international waters. Your recent maneuvers have been unsafe. Alter course immediately. The message is repeated, then repeated again in Spanish. Below, figures begin to move on deck. One steps toward the bridge wing, another raises binoculars, a third looks up, shielding his eyes against the rising sun and the blur of the rotors. No one waves. No one signals distress. The Seahawk holds its orbit. Then a green laser designator pulses once onto the bridge windows. Steady, unmistakable. Not an attack, not a threat, a message. We see you. The reply comes almost at once. The vessel's wake shortens even more. Speed falls below 15 knots. Its bow starts to drift to starboard, a few degrees, then more. Enough to break the geometry, enough to erase the collision path from the plot. Contact altering course, CIC reports. CPA increasing. The second vessel, which had stayed wide through the entire encounter, turns away as well. Its role is finished. It does not close. It does not call. It simply leaves. The Seahawk does not pursue. It maintains orbit, sensors still fixed, recording the withdrawal long enough to confirm it is real. The drifting cargo vessel does not move, crew detained, evidence secured below. It is no longer part of the standoff. Now it is a case file floating on the water. The helicopter's sensor operator zooms tighter on the withdrawing ship. Crew members can be seen stepping away from the rails. Their posture eases, but only slightly. No weapons appear. No sudden radar spikes. No hard maneuver. Captain, the aircraft commander radios. Target is disengaging. Course steady away. The captain waits a full minute before answering. Maintain observation. One more orbit. The Seahawk circles once more, wide and deliberate, then turns back toward the destroyer. As it departs, the laser goes dark. The point has already been made. Recovery crews stand ready on deck. The aircraft settles back onto steel. Rotors slow. The moment passes without ceremony. Below deck, the detainees sit quietly under guard. No questioning yet. No interviews. That comes later. Out here, the priority is containment and control. On the bridge, the plot begins to clear. The two contacts are opening distance. Sea room returns. The destroyer remains on its original heading, speed unchanged. Log conclusion of close maneuver, the captain says. No further action. There is no celebration, no obvious relief, just a return to routine, as if the last hour had been a drill and not a live test of judgment. Because at sea, success rarely looks dramatic. It looks like nothing happening. No shots fired, no collision, no public spectacle. Just pressure applied at exactly the right moment, with exactly the right amount of force, until steel turns away from steel. The captain steps back from the chart table and looks out across the water one more time. Continue transit. The destroyer moves on, leaving behind a seized vessel, a failed intercept, and a clean record of intent. Captured not by firepower, but by discipline. The encounter is over. The consequences are not. At 6:19 local time, the deck is quiet again. The sea has gone calm as if the previous 2 hours never happened. But the evidence laid out on the flight deck tells another story. 19 bales sit in neat rows, evenly spaced, sealed, tagged, and photographed. No commentary, no theatrics, just process. Each bundle is weighed, logged, and assigned a custody number that will follow it from open water to a federal courtroom. Roughly 45 pounds each. Nearly 900 pounds total. Estimated street value above $13 million. The figure is entered into the record once and then never mentioned again. Below decks, the detainees remain under watch in temporary holding. Hands restrained, eyes forward. Given water, not questioned. Interrogation is not the destroyer's role. Transfer comes later, under the authorities built for that purpose. On the bridge, the captain signs the final entries. Timeline complete. Radar tracks saved, video archived, radio traffic preserved. Every course change, every bearing shift, every ignored hail. Now all of it exists as data. Clean, unemotional, undeniable. That is how cases are built at sea. The seized vessel is secured for tow. Its engines are silent now. Its course has been decided for it. Whatever network sent it into the funnel will soon understand the shipment never made it through. That news will travel faster than the vessel ever did. There is no ceremony when the final bale is moved below. No morale photos. The deck crew simply clears the space and resets for flight operations. Salt water washes over the non-skid. The surface returns to normal. The destroyer does not linger. At 6:42, it resumes full transit speed. 20 knots, same heading as before. From the outside, nothing about the ship appears different. No damage, no marks. Just a gray hull cutting cleanly through open water. But for the crew, the meaning is clear. This was not luck. The interception began with a radar contact that did not belong. It grew through silence, calculation, pressure, and restraint. It ended without a shot fired and without a single rule bent. That result was not accidental. It was training, discipline, and judgment meeting the exact kind of moment they were built for. Somewhere ashore, prosecutors will one day stand before juries and explain how nearly a ton of illegal cargo never reached its market. They will point to photographs, timestamps, logs, and sworn statements. They will never describe the feeling on the bridge when steel nearly met steel. That part stays at sea. The crew returns to routine watches. Coffee is poured, logs are updated, the radar keeps sweeping every few seconds, painting the same endless picture of open water and possibility. Because out here, this was not an ending. It was one chapter. The funnel remains. Routes will shift. Networks will adapt. Another vessel will try again, convinced it can pass unseen. The ocean is wide. It is not empty. As the sun clears the horizon, the captain takes one final look at the cleared deck and the calm water ahead. "Maintain course," he says. The ship answers at once, steel responding to helm, momentum carrying it forward. $13 million worth of contraband stops here, not with explosions, not with spectacle, but with a radar contact, a steady hand, and the quiet certainty that some lines once crossed will always be met by grey hulls moving the other way. The destroyer sails on.